everyone, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel on my special show Street Diaries. और मेरे साथ में आज फोर्ट के एरिया में है जेसन शाह, who is going to enjoy some delicacies with me. बड़ी में हम आए हैं, but at the same time हम बात भी करेंगे हीरा मंडी पे. तो चलो ज्वाइन करते हैं आप मुझे.
Let's go.
तो हम आए हैं बड़े मियाँ एंड बात करें बड़े मियाँ की, तो आपकी क्या मेमोरीज है यहाँ पर आने की?
यहाँ पर नहीं आया था, बट बड़े मियाँ का नाम सुन के काफ़ी याद आता है. When I was younger, 16, 17, 18, बहुत पार्टी किया हमने, और वो भी साउथ बॉम्बे में. और बहुत फेमस बड़े बड़े क्लब्स होते थे, तो हम बड़े मियाँ जो रीगल के पीछे हैं, हम वहाँ जाते थे. और थोड़ा दारू पीने के बाद used to have chicken tandoori and शीख kebabs and lot of butter chicken.
और आपकी कौन सी ऐसी फेवरेट डिश है जो हम यहाँ पे ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं?
उस ज़माने में होता था, आज के जो मेन्यू है मुझे नहीं पता, बट शायद होगा. एक लेग पीस होता था, तो हम हमेशा दारू पीने के बाद एक लेग पीस और एक रोटी के साथ खाता था. अभी पता ही नहीं है कि आज मिलेगा कि नहीं.
आई थिंक ओल्ड स्पेशलिटी है यहाँ पर.
आई थिंक वहाँ सर बोल रहे मिलेगा.
वाओ, सो देन लेट्स ऑर्डर द लेग पीस.
ठीक है, डन.
तो एक लेग पीस ऑर्डर कर लीजिए. आई हैव टू आस्क यू जेसन कि आपने इतनी शुद्ध हिंदी कहाँ से सीखी है? लाइक हाउ कुड यू बी सो गुड विद योर हिंदी, बीइंग अ फॉरेनर?
पैदाशी तो मुंबई में, और वैसे भी तो पिक्चर्स, फिल्म्स, ज़्यादा टीवी देखता था नौकर लोग के साथ. तो वहाँ से सीखना थोड़ा शुरू हुआ. शुद्ध तो नहीं है, बट मुंबई या एक्टिंग के लिए काफ़ी है, क्योंकि मेन चीज़ है जब डायलॉग मिलता है तो उसको बस याद करना है.
और बट आप यानी मुंबई में कैसे थे? आपकी अदरवाइज इफ़ यू सी द एंटायर एंसेस्टर, वो कहाँ से है?
तो मम्मी ब्रिटेन की है. शी केम डाउन फ्रॉम लंदन. पिताजी गुजराती है. सो ही वॉज मोर स्पीकिंग टू अस इन इंग्लिश, ज़्यादा इंग्लिश में, एंड कभी कभी गुजराती में, बट गुजराती सिखाए नहीं हमको. हिज हिंदी वॉज वेरी वीक.
हाँ, आपको थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी लाइक गुजराती समझता है?
गुजराती थोड़ा बहुत समझता है, मराठी भी थोड़ा बहुत समझता है, तमिल भी थोड़ा बहुत समझता है, क्योंकि ये सब फिल्मों में भी काम किया है. पंजाबी थोड़ा, इट्स अ लिटिल डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज फॉर मी, बट या ये सब लैंग्वेजेस सुनते सुनते तो थोड़ा सीख लेता है.
So I have to know from you some Gujarati words, since from your dad's legacy, if you could talk about.
वो मेन हमेशा वही होता है, केमचो मजामा. So I always have that little play on it, कि जब मैं पूछता हूँ केमचो, तो सामने वाला मजामा बोलते तो मैं बोलते वही पिजामा. तो लोग थोड़ा फनी लगता है. बस सुखबर, the normal little nuances. I understand more. I can't really speak so much.
Saras che, kem,
बहुत सारस,
yeah. But talking about Mumbai, और मुंबई में आप पले बड़े हो, तो you must be knowing the culture over here very well. आपको कौन सी स्ट्रीट्स के खाना पसंद है, और आप स्ट्रीट फूड वैसे खाते हो कि नहीं?
ऑफ कोर्स सिद्धि विनायक के सामने एक वड़ा पाव, गली के अंदर वो एक वड़ा पाव वाला बहुत फेमस है. तो हम चाइल्डहुड में बहुत बार गए. यहाँ पे तो बड़े मियाँ तो फेमस ही है. एक्चुअली हैंगिंग गार्डन्स में मेरा फेवरेट बेलपुरी वाला बैठता है. सो एक्चुअली परसों ही मैंने एक खाया था. आई ट्राई नॉट टू ईट इट टू मच, क्योंकि स्ट्रीट फूड थोड़ा हैवी रहते हैं हमारे लिए, बट इट्स गुड, इट्स टेस्टी. एंड आई थिंक दैट्स पार्ट ऑफ द कल्चर, इन कि कभी कभी ऐसे दोस्त लोग के साथ निकल जाओ, कुछ खा लो, स्नैक्स वगैरह, तो वो बहुत मिलता है. पानी पूरी, दही पूरी, ये सब तो बहुत खाए.
बट कहीं ना कहीं आपका इम्यून सिस्टम अब इंडिया के फूड से रेलेवेंट हो चुका है.
कंप्लीटली, वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
एनी अदर प्लेसेस इन इंडिया जहाँ पर आपको इंडियन फूड या डेलिकेसी खाना पसंद आया हो?
एक्चुअली कलकत्ता में, बट कलकत्ता आपको एकदम मतलब खाली पेट में जाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि बहुत ही हैवी है. उनका ग्रेवीज जो होता है वो बहुत ही हैवी खाना है. आई लव साउथ इंडियन फूड, क्योंकि मैं बहुत अभी तो 3 पिक्चर करके आया चेन्नई में. और तमिलनाडु का जो भी फूड है, आई थिंक इट्स राइस, मोर राइस रिलेटेड. और मैं तो वैसे भी वाइट राइस बहुत खाता है. For my carbs, simple carbs होता है उसका. But yeah, I love dosas. I love that kind of stuff. So they have very spicy food, a lot of spicy. They make different things. They have different meats over there that they cook. So I find it very interesting.
I have to ask you, talking about हीरा मंडी, उसके लिए आपने कौन सा स्पेशल डाइट फॉलो किया था? बिकॉज वर्किंग विद संजय लीला बंसाली इज नॉट दैट इजी.
मैं तो फिट रहता है बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली एज वर्किंग मेनली एज अ विलन इन इंडिया वो एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि बॉडी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर हीरो विलन से ज़्यादा बड़ा लगता है तो फिर वो कुछ मज़ा नहीं आएगा मारने में, तो वैसे भी तो बॉडी फिट होना ही चाहिए. बट एक्चुअली मैंने ऐसे सोचा कि आज की डेट में लोगों को एब्स बहुत पसंद है और ये बहुत ट्रेंड चल रहा है बहुत टाइम से, और लोगों को वो एक चीज़ बहुत हॉट लगता है. लड़की लोगों को तो बोलते हैं अरे नहीं 6 पैक एब्स है, बहुत हॉट है बंदा. बट कैरेक्टर के बारे में कभी कभी सोचना चाहिए, तो मैंने वो सोच के रखा है कि ये थोड़ा मोटा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अंग्रेज़ लोग उस ज़माने में जिम विम नहीं करते थे शायद, मे भी थोड़ा सा जॉगिंग वॉगिंग वगैरह, बट आई थिंक मोस्टली वो बहुत दारू पीते थे. तो दारू पीने से वो आपको थोड़ा सा गला भी बढ़ा रहेंगे, थोड़ा मोटा भी होंगे, थोड़ा पेट वेट होंगे, मस्कुलर लगना चाहिए, बट नॉट टू वो जो आज की डेट में जो बोलते हैं ना फिट बॉडी, जो एक एक्सपेक्टेशन है, मुझे वो नहीं चाहिए था. तो एक्चुअली जस्ट सीन करने से पहले उस्ताद जी के साथ जो मैंने किया है इंद्रेश मालिक, मैंने एक्चुअली बैठ के 2 मटन बर्गर खाया थोड़ा सा फूकने के लिए, एंड आई थिंक इट वर्कड. लोगों को अच्छा लगा कि दैट यू नो आई वाज़न्ट कंप्लीटली रिप्ड, बट नथिंग मोर देन दैट. आई फॉलो माई नॉर्मल regimes 1.5 hours depending if I'm working or not in the gym, and बस हमेशा ही फिट है.
Talking about your scene with Ustad Ji, the intimate scene, you know, when I spoke to Indresh, he told me that you both had a session together for 40 minutes in Vanity Van. You both like got comfortable with each other before doing this scene. Were you a bit like you're skeptical कि ये करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए? Because of course it's not, you know, all out there, but it does lead to a lot of curiosity कि हुआ क्या होगा टाइप्स.
जब मैंने स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ा, मतलब मैंने पूरा स्क्रिप्ट नहीं पढ़ा, बट जो मेरे लिए था माई सीन्स, मैंने पहले वो देखा कि एक थोड़ा सा इंटीमेट सीन है. ऑब्वियसली ये यू नो द फैक्ट कि आप बंसाली के पिक्चर काम कर रहे हैं, तो वो वल्गर नहीं दिखाएंगे, कोई भी चीज़ हमेशा एस्थेटिकली या आर्टिस्टिकली दिखाई जाएगा. सो ऑब्वियसली फॉर मी मैंने सोचा कि ठीक है, विल सी व्हाट इट इज़ ऑन दैट डे. ऑब्वियसली मेरा थोड़ा बाउंड्रीज है उसके बारे में, बट या आई वाज अ बिट नर्वस. उससे पहले रात तो प्रोडक्शन से मुझे कॉल मिला एंड दे सेड यू नो जेसन आपका सीन ऐसे ही होने वाले इंद्रेश के साथ, ये कल ही करेंगे. सो थोड़ा नर्वस हुआ था. एक्चुअली आई कुडंट स्लीप सो वेल दैट नाइट. आई वाज थिंकिंग कि क्या होगा. अभी तो जो लिखा है वो हमेशा कुछ चेंजेस रहता है स्क्रिप्ट सेट पे. So I thought about it, but obviously having that secure feeling कि ये बंसाली है, ये ऐसे वैसे कुछ नहीं दिखाएगा. So I got on set. By the time me and Indresh were talking, we had a very good relationship. Actually हमारा vanities हमेशा बगल में होते थे. So we used to have lunch together, and one day I was just, you know, to change my mood, I had played a Bhojpuri song, and he got very interested in that कि ये गोरा भोजपुरी गाना सुन रहे. So that was fun. So I think our chemistry was already there, just as, you know, 2 actors knowing each other. We hadn't had any scenes obviously, but yeah, we got some time to just talk it out together. सर ने बोला था कि आई डोंट वांट इट लुकिंग मैकेनिकल, तो ज़्यादा मत करो इस पे काम, क्योंकि अगर ज़्यादा काम भी करते हैं तो कभी कभी वो मैकेनिकल होता है एंड इट लूजेज इट्स फ्लेवर. But Indresh is all the, you know, professional actor that I know, so I felt very secure with him. I started to tease him also a little bit, and I think that kind of warmed us up to it कि इतना serious मत ले लो यार सीन, जो भी है, you know, मैं तो वैसे ही हूँ, हमेशा मजाक मस्ती में है. So थोड़ा सा उसका टांग खींचना शुरू किया मैंने, and I think by the time we walked into the scene, वो एकदम मतलब ऐसे ही हुआ था कि हमको मालूम ही नहीं पड़ा कि 2 टेक हो गया.
But majorly, you know, even if we see, you know, many times in movies also, and Netflix especially, ever since OTT built up हुआ है इंडिया में, we used to always think, and most of the people in India, that foreigners are comfortable doing intimate scenes. You are debunking that thought.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it's just a thought people have about foreigners, that, you know, they're okay to do a scene which is sexual or, you know, intimate scenes, you know, kissing scenes and all? Do you feel that it's not the case otherwise?
ये भी सोचने वाली बात है, बिकॉज कामा सूत्र यहाँ बना, not in England. बट आई थिंक वो एक फॉरेन कॉन्सेप्ट है कि फॉरेनर्स वो थोड़ा एक्सपोज्ड रहता है, they are comfortable in wearing shorter clothes. But now we're definitely seeing with the younger generation, वो उर्फी जैसे, you know, we're seeing that they have that thing in them कि no, I can cross those boundaries, I can cross those lines. Yeah, I definitely think it's just a stereotype concept कि नहीं गोरा लोग ऐसे ही होता है, you know, and I think India is a funny place like that. वो sex के बारे में जब बात करते हैं, it's almost like no, we don't have sex, and I'm like लेकिन 1.4 billion लोग तो है यहाँ पे, तो कोई तो कुछ तो कर रहा है, but I think it's more behind closed doors rather than so out in the open. And I like that, to be honest. I think there's a conservative side, एक conservative side India में जो है, I think it's something to be thought about and respected. Obviously कोई ना कोई तो वो, you know, stereotype वो तोड़ने वाले वो चीज़ को, but I love it. I love that India still holds on to their culture, you know, wears all of these beautiful saris, because you look at a sari or you look at an English dress, I think, you know, a woman wearing a long gown can look just as beautiful, you know. I think women think, or not all women, I can't put everyone in a box, but I think the mass thinks that the only way they're going to get attention is dressing down rather than dressing up. And for me, dressing up is, you know, when I see a woman in a beautiful dress walking down the road, I think every guy turns their head like, you know, wow, what is that? But हाँ, I think, as you said, stereotypical है कि गोरा है तो वो कुछ भी कर सकता है. I think we're a bit more open-minded in that sense, so I think yes, in some ways we are, but I'm not. I think I have my boundaries set. I don't think I would have lip-locked with Indresh, because that's something I won't do. So there are just certain limits that I've set.
But also एक और एक thought होता है जब Britishers है तो which means we have to talk about the you know, the independence area, and अच्छा वो थे तो ऐसे हुआ, हिंदू मुस्लिम के झगड़े हुए थे and all these things. You know, there are a lot of thoughts which has happened in the past. Do you feel that those thoughts should be left aside and should be welcomed differently, be it different cultures, you know, because India for that matter always welcomes different culture, you know, into their system?
Definitely, and I think it is for the most part. I think in your commercial cities, like especially like Mumbai, you won't see. I think it's a lack of education in some regard. That you know, some places I go, it's still like, you know, वो 10 रुपया की चीज़ मुझे दे के बोलते हैं नहीं सर आपके लिए स्पेशल प्राइस 100 रुपया है, and you know, I'm used to that. I don't find it as, you know, racism or something towards me. I think कि उनका क्या सोच है कि आज मेरा दिन बन गया, अंग्रेज़ मेरे दुकान पे आया तो शायद वो डॉलर में पैसा उड़ाएंगे, and वो एक सोच है, you know, because I think yes, as the education side, they kind of think like, actually I was just shooting in a tea garden just last week, and all the tea pickers came out and they were all like, "Arey bada saab aa gaya." So I think they saw me and they thought, हाँ हमारा मालिक तो है एक इंडियन, लेकिन इसके ऊपर जो बड़ा साहब है ये है गोरा आदमी. So I think yes, in some, you know, where the education is not, you know, at a height as what we're used to today, yes, there will be that kind of stigma that's still there, that, you know, we're still under the British in some way, but otherwise no, I don't think so. I think it's all, people are changing, the world is changing so fast. The mobile phone, I think, has changed the world.
So I have to ask that क्या आप भी कंजूस हो when it comes to bargaining skills and like going on shops and all वैसे?
I'm not conjuice, I can't say conjuice.
But do you prefer bargaining?
I'm actually quite a big spender. Money doesn't stay with me for too long, in all honesty. I'm actually trying to get better at that. क्योंकि हमेशा even my younger brother हमेशा बोलते हैं, अरे यार तुमने उसको क्यों बोला है यार, नया नौकर है, मैंने तो बोला 15, वो तो बोला 12. And yes, I am trying to get better at, you know, नहीं भाई ठीक है 100 रुपया वो मेरे लिए आ गया, I'll give you 5 rupees or 10 rupees more, but itna, you know, 80% मत ले लो मेरे से. So yeah, I think it's just a thing you have to get better at.
वैसे I have to ask you कि जेसन का ये obsession क्या था in the TV series Hira Mandi, that he really wanted the Hira Mandi Tawayafs, you know, with him. Be it Sonakshi, be it like, you know, even Manisha Koirala, there is a scene with her which is also like, of course, it's shot very aesthetically, which is not seen, you know, and then again Sharmeen. So what exactly is this guy's obsession with all the Tawayafs of Hira Mandi?
You'll have to ask Moin Beg. He's the one that wrote it. I saw it as, obviously he's a young, good-looking guy. He's not married, so he has that kind of freedom, you know, and he's definitely taking his freedom very, you know, he's living the life. I think he, as we spoke about earlier, that, you know, it even went with Ustad Ji. I think he's from what I put in my mind and I thought about Cartwright, was he's sort of the guy that is willing to go at any length. Nothing's gonna come in his way. Nothing stops him, whether it be a man or a woman. It's just, those are just pawns in his hands, and you know, they're in front of you, and I'm in that place. Hira Mandi was known for what it's known for. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the more and more that it opened up was just showing that Cartwright, you know, was very. He was very open. It showed no loyalty to Sonakshi, you know, even at that stage. And I saw that. That was a beautiful thing between Faridan and Cartwright, was, I think, in some sense, Faridan's character was not only angry at Cartwright for, you know, doing what he did. Just because of that, she was also like, oh, so I'm not even special to you. I think her character felt that, and Sonakshi is a great actress, so I think she was taking everything in. But yeah, you'll have to go into detail of who was thinking with Moin Beg. He's the writer.
But I have to ask you, like, especially when that scene was shot, you know, when Manisha is like, you know, I have to do anything for my daughter, come what may, and then the rape scene was shot. You know, it's a very, and the way he shot it was very beautiful, because he didn't show anything, but he ensured that the reaction of it, you know, the way she behaves, the way the people are. Sonakshi Sinha herself like feels bad that, you know, eventually I'm the one who is responsible for the entire thing, whatever jealousy she has for, you know, Malika Jan. What do you have to say about that special scene, especially, you know, when Sanjay Leela Bhansali had shown that something has happened, but it's not shown to the audience?
So to be very honest, I didn't know Manisha Koirala. I didn't know who she was. She was very quiet on sets, and she came on, and I obviously had the scene. I'm used to doing very authoritative scenes, so for me, I don't think there's much difficulty in it. It's actually, I kind of enjoy it almost, because it's like everybody's doing things for me in a way. I'm sitting here and everyone starts acting, you know, they all come into my office bringing, you know, their own different ronas that they have, and I kind of enjoy that. And obviously, after hearing about Manisha, especially her life story, from what all she's gone through, I think I have a tremendous amount of respect for the woman. I think that she's a great actress. She was giving it everything she had, because no matter what you're doing, even as a professional actress, I think coming into a room where a whole bunch of men are standing around and aapko wohi vulnerable jagah, you know, you have to show that. You have to come to a vulnerable space, and I think she did. She was a bit apprehensive, you know, when she laid down at first, but I think she just kind of rolled into it. She was beautiful, and it was beautiful to watch what unfolded. It was actually Sanjay sir's, he came in the middle, I think, of the second or third take, and he just whacked everything off the table. At first I thought he was angry. You know, I was like, oh no, who did what wrong? And then he said, what if Manisha does this, you know, and lies down like this? And so that was him. And that was one point also, I was watching him, and I was like, this is why they call him, you know, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, because he brings certain elements to the table that
and
is very different.
Bringing some elements to
yeah, some other
right
elements
now.
are coming to the table. Good timing.
Good timing.
But yeah, it was a beautiful scene. Yeah, why not?
But as we talk about Manisha Koirala and all the actors, सबके performances को praise तो किया गया, but Sharmeen Sehgal was the only one who got trolled. Like people didn't really like the way she was keeping way too subtle. What do you have to say about that?
You know, she's Sanjay's niece. I don't know what was spoken.
Especially being Sanjay Leela Bhansali's niece, the expectations were
very high.
Yes. Give it to him.
I think it shows that you know, it's not about, you know, you can have the greatest director there. I would definitely say that I wasn't there, so I don't know what was spoken. As a director to an actor, maybe that was what they were going for. I'm not sure. I know I've heard a lot about this. Honestly, I feel a bit sorry for her. I did feel, you know, in certain scenes that, yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like, you know, something needs to happen, but again, it's a different kind of role. You know, some people portray that, and to be honest, to keep that one tone, you know, whether it be me smacking her on the table or whether it be Tajdar dying or whatever it is, maybe that's what they were going for. So I've heard that she said that she did about 15 or 16 auditions for it. So I mean, if maybe that's what they were trying to get ultimately, and if they did and that's what they wanted, great. I definitely felt that character could have intensified a lot more. There could have been a lot of, you know, different ups and downs. The graph could have been very different because you had the opportunity, you had the scope, you know, to do so much. But again, was that what they were going for? And they accomplished it, great. If not, then it is what it is, you know, it is. And I think your viewers are always going to be, you know, your feedback ultimately. I know people have said, I hate you, you know, to me, but that's because, you know, to them I've done a good job. You know, I made them hate me by all the different things that I did. And for me, that's mission accomplished, you know, coming in as a, you know, antagonist. Obviously you want people to get that, you know, anger towards your character, because that's the life of, you know, the hero against the villain. Yeah, I mean the villain against the hero and things like that. But it's great.
Talking about food, आपको बॉम्बे में सबसे अच्छा खाना क्या लगता है? When you were here, when you started off your struggling days, जो भी यानी acting के पहले.
So coming from a Gujarati family, everything's very sweet.
Yeah.
Even the dal sometimes can be very sweet. I like theplas. I'm not a huge Gujarati food fan, for doklas and stuff like that. But I love my non-veg food. So things like this, tandoori chicken, butter chicken, sheet kebab. I mean, you have endless amounts of different styles. You know, you have reshmi paneer kebab, which I also love paneer.
Yeah.
So obviously all of these different things. And I was in Goa for a while growing up, so I love your prawn curries and your fish curries as well. I mean, it's every state you go into, there's something special that they have. You know, it's like you ask for a butter chicken in Rajasthan or Himachal Pradesh. It's completely different to the way you're getting it in Mumbai. Mumbai is more creamy, more buttery. Over there, it kind of goes to almost like a matar paneer kind of mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, when I'm in South, I'm ordering uttapam and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. They have really, really nice. There's a small bird called quail. So it's very tasty. It's got little small bones in it, but it's a very, very tasty dish.
Oh,
My
yeah.
vegetarian viewers are not going to be so happy about this, but I eat a lot of non-veg.
Okay. But I have to also ask you, like, आपने कभी ऐसे कुछ try किया kitchen में which has turned out to be disaster?
Wow. I've actually gone off fish. I haven't been eating so much fish in the recent past. I think it was due to some not so well cooked sushi, and I'm a big sushi lover. I really, really enjoy sushi, especially like prawn and salmon sushi. But I've been staying away from fish for quite a while now. I think fish in places like Goa or Kerala, it's a bit more fresh. Kerala, I can't handle the coconut oil. That's one thing. They cook with so much coconut oil. I remember I was there some time ago, and we were having popcorn in my friend's house, and even the popcorn tasted like coconut. I was like, oh my god, this is also coconut oil. But
With the chips, in fact.
yeah, so coconut oil sometimes can make me feel a little, I don't know, woozy. It's very healthy for you, I know that, but I think they use it little too much.
Excessive.
Yeah.
Anything which you made which turned out to be a disaster, like ऐसे कुछ कोशिश किया
What
हो
I made.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a very good cook.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not very experimental. I mean, I can
Sometimes
cook a
even
really
coffee
good.
turns out to be
No, my
disaster.
coffee is the best coffee.
Yeah.
I have really good coffee. Coffee is my thing. So I love black coffee. I don't put any sugar. I'm not a milk coffee person, unless on the run and you're not finding anything. I've tried to make tea, and that didn't turn out so good. So the person that took the tea was like, "No, it's okay. You can keep your tea." So yeah, I make breakfast. I don't really do too much. I can fry things, like a chicken and chips kind of a meal. But other than that, no, I'm not a big cook.
And talking about your childhood memories with food, did your mom struggle behind you to feed you food, or like how was it?
No, I've always loved my food. I've always been a big eater, and I'm thankful for that. To be honest, I know some people struggle with it, but
It's
this
good.
is really
It's
good.
exactly the way you liked it. Yeah.
It's like going back to my childhood, leg piece days after a good night partying.
But I
Awesome.
have to ask, like, any of the dishes of your mother which you really like having?
Mom is not a cook at all.
No, really?
No, my
And
mom
dad?
doesn't
Dad
cook.
has tried everything?
Dad also no.
No.
So we didn't really. We always had very good cooks. Again, they were South Indian cooks.
Huh.
We always had guys from the South.
So, like, imagine coming from, British plus Gujarati mix
Yeah.
and then going to South Indian.
South
Like,
Indian.
how the entire mixture happened for you?
Yeah, I don't even know why. I mean, my sister's a really good cook. My little sister's great. She makes some great Thai curry. She makes. I was just at her house last night. She made carrot cake. She's has an amazing cheesecake. So like my little sister, I think, is the cook of the family. We'll go and have a meal. She makes everything from sweets to savory, and she's very good. She's gonna be a very good mother, that's for sure.
Wow. And what about Jason's personal life? Is Jason dating someone, or is he just dating the food what he's eating all the time?
No comment on that. I think I'm waiting for something good, in the sense of, this life is a little difficult for people to understand, especially for someone that would not be from this industry. And I think it's a process. You have to give that enough time, for that to settle in with the person. Because
That's very
love, yeah.
Super true. The industry is like that people really wonder what we're up to all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. कि आप इतना रात लेट हो गया और आप आए ही नहीं, शूट एक्सटेंड हो गया 19 hours 18 hours, मैं थोड़ी ऐसे शूट छोड़ के आ सकते नहीं, you are doing something else. So obviously I want that person to understand what love is, and I think people have kind of come out of that. They've kind of gone away from the reality of what love is. I think people think love is a feeling, and that's a very dangerous place to be. For me, I think love is an action, and it's doing all the time, and trusting is a big thing. You have to trust, the person that you're with, because if it's gonna be from the front no trust, which in this industry it's tough, right? Because you're with different women on screen, you're partying, sometimes late. I don't party too much, but obviously we have to here and there, to socialize a bit. That's how you make connections and stuff. But it's hard. It's hard to explain, and so I think the person that I'll get married to is what I'm hoping will understand. Be a very understanding person. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Do you prefer old school romance, or like do you prefer like the current state where it's more of being practical?
No, I think the current state of romance is it's being annihilated a lot by social media. I think there's just these things of like,
Love
I think
bombing,
we're all-
ghosting, swipe right,
yeah,
swipe
but
left.
I think there's an overextended, feminism aspect that's coming into the industry, and it's making men back off to a point where I think men are now starting to question themselves too much. A man needs to be a person who makes a decision, and a good decision. I'm not. Some men don't make good decisions. I'll admit that. I'm not here. All men are great. No, I'm not saying that. But I think a man is the one that's caring, the one that protects. There just are certain angles that I think the woman has the caring part. The little emotions that we are not connected to. Women have as what we need a woman in our lives. I'd be lost without my sister. I'd be lost without my mother. They're the ones that make a house a home. But I think we need to stop nitpicking at each other and just see what our strengths are and keep playing to those. You do what you're good at, I'll do what I'm good at, instead of trying to bash the other person into some kind of angle that you see it from. And I think it's communication. I feel a lot of relationship, as far as business, as far as friends, as far as even friendships today, that so many of them are being broken, and I think it's a lack of communication and understanding of the other person. I think clear communication. Say what you feel. Say what's in your mind. Don't hold it in your heart, because the longer that you let something stay over there, I think it destroys you, and then obviously the other person, and then whatever you guys have going for each other.
But do you also feel that emotional intimacy in current scenario is just going for toss, like
Absolutely.
It's fading off?
Absolutely.
That kind of emotional connection which people had, it's too much transactional in today's day, that that going and having a cup of coffee with someone is just going out of the way.
Absolutely.
Or like just going with someone on a date.
Yeah.
But it's like calculative all the more now.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, it's this generation. I think this generation is kind of losing themselves in a sense of their priorities are not right. And that's what I still love so much about India in so many ways. I think, I tell people this, when you're going on your first dates, this is my dating advice. Maybe it's not good advice, maybe it won't work for anybody, but ask the tough questions first. Forget about what do you do for chill, and I think everybody kind of chills in the same way. Yeah, you might ride horses and I might go swimming, that might be different. But what do you think about marriage? What do you think about children? Because if you do all the dating and then you get married and then you ask her, what do you think about children? And she says no, and you're sitting there, well, why didn't you tell me this at the front? She's probably going to tell you, why didn't you ask me? So I think those are the things, think about the next step. Stop thinking only for right now, because yes, live in the moment, be present. But I think making a good decision is also looking for the future of that decision, where I think this generation is just now. Give me this gratification. I want it right now. I want everything in this moment. And you're not going to get everything in this moment. And if you're looking for that, I think you've watered down your life. You need to get control over it. Look for the more juicy things in life, the long-lasting things in life, and I blame it on the mobile phone. I blame almost every single family problem today on the mobile phone. You can't even have dinner with anybody anymore, and everyone's on the phone. Like, where's the conversation? And then people are like, oh, I don't even know my brother and I don't even know my sister. And I'm like, yeah, because you guys are eating dinner and you're both on your phones. Throw away the phone for half an hour. And that's what I loved about my dad. I grew up, I had my first phone when I was 13. Today, kids have phones when they're 3.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different thing. But my dad never answered the phone. Back then we had landlines. We would start having dinner around 7:38, and even if there was a call, he would always say, call me tomorrow. And I watched that, and I love that. Because yes, there's a time that you just need to cut off and say, this is my time. This is my family. This is my friends. These are the ones that I want to love. Because slowly, I mean, all over the world, suicide has become so high right now. And what are they saying? No one ever spoke to them. And no one will in this generation, because they don't care. It's just how many likes have I got, how many comments have I got, and I'm doing good. I'm being pushed right now for likes and comments by my agency. They're like, no, Jason, be online, be online.
But don't you also feel like too much, that social media game, especially for likes, viewership and all, it's too much getting into everyone's head right now, that they are forgetting the authenticity of their, individual, how they are as an individual. They're forgetting to lead a normal life, because they are wondering like, oh, maybe I can post this picture on social media and I'll have a good traction out of it.
Correct. And that's all they're looking for. And I'm like, what is that? that's so momentary, you know. It's going to be gone in the next 1 hour. You might be happy with it for today, but then tomorrow what? Then you're going to be looking for the next picture. And I was just saying it to someone the other day. He was like, look at this view, and he was like, take a selfie. And I was like, no, I don't want to take a selfie. I just want to look at the view. You know, if we're standing here, take it in. You know, I've got a memory card here too. You know, I can remember. I don't need everything on my phone. And that's what it is. I think, yeah, as I said, it's the mobile phone. It's ruined so much of this world. Everybody wants to be watching things all the time. It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's very addictive. You have to stay away from it. I'm getting pushed right now because I'm really like, social media is like the last thing I go to, but my agent is like, Jason, you have to post. This is it, you know, this is the time now, you have to. So I'm a bit behind the times in some way, and I'm seeing how it changes things. Of course, the connectivity is insane. It's great. And look, people have made lives out of it.
True.
But even for influencers and people, and this is my thing for everyone, is even if you follow an influencer, don't take that as a fact. You know, there's a lot of people, even in the fitness world, telling kids that they can get six-pack abs in 6 weeks. And I know that doesn't happen because I've been doing it for years. They're using stuff that they're obviously not being very truthful about. So watch what you're saying, understand it, take it in, but don't, you know, put that as no, he said it, so it has to be 100% true. I think the truth has now become blurred, the lines are blurred. And I would say ask your father, ask your mother. For kids in the gym, I'm like, go and ask the guys who are standing there, but they don't want to. No, I see this guy on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, but the guy on YouTube is selling something. So, you know, you have to be very careful.
Coming back to the very important topic, which is about your first debut in Bollywood. And if you remember your first shot, since your memory is such sharp, I want to know about it.
I walked up, it was a slightly higher stage, and Katrina was that side, Dilip Tahil was standing here, and I came this side, and it was in partner. And I watched Salman come into the middle, and they were filming the song Dupatta Tera Gana. So that was my first experience in Bollywood, was in partner years ago. And it's been ever since then that I've had wo jaise bolte hain na chatka wahan se aaya. I think that's where I got that, wow, the flare, the lights, you know. But then again, it's a beautiful process. It's a great job. But I think people again don't understand that it's a job. It's hard work as well. There's that side of it too, you know. So don't get carried away with the glitz and the glamour. It is a hard job.
But how was it like? Did you had interactions with Katrina or Salman on the set?
With Salman, yes, quite a few. He's very chilled out. Katrina, not so much. She just looked at me and she said, "Ye bacha hai." So I was like, "Acha, theek hai."
Oh, wow.
I was like,
That's
"All right,
very good
yeah."
comment.
I was like, "Theek hai." And she had just come to the industry, but obviously, I'm not going to say something at that point in time. But yeah. It's a beautiful place to be, definitely. I'm happy for each project that I've gone from then. People still remember me from Partner, which is unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And they're like, you're the kid from that, you know, Dupatta. I'm like, how?
Wow.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, and if you recollect any of your other Bollywood movies जहाँ पर आपका एक role था and it got like a different recognition altogether, or not even recognition, but a good memory for yourself?
For myself was obviously meeting Aamir for the first time in Thugs of Hindustan. That was a huge thing for me. It wasn't a very meaty role, but I said yes, just to the fact that I'd want to be on screen with him. And it was a fantastic experience for me because I'm sitting opposite him all day long. And this is Aamir Khan, this is, you know, it's not, you know, just another actor you've met. He's one of the kings of this industry. Yeah, it was wonderful to see him so lost in his character. You know, he was just, I don't think I was in his space. Like, he was just, you know, miles away from everyone. And his perfection side as well. I remember it's just one shot, I was looking through an eyeglass, and yeah, he kept telling the director, just do one more. And that director was like, please, I think we got the shot. And he was just like, one more.
Amir being Amir.
Yeah, Amir being
The perfectionist.
yeah, so now I've worked with another perfectionist, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely is interesting.
And like talking about this perfectionist on the set, because of his Sanjay Leela Bhansali is a Gujarati, and Touchwood, he's also from the south of Mumbai, Bhuleshwar. That is where he was brought up and all. And in recent interaction also, when the meet and greet happened, that time also he said that he has stayed in the locals of Mumbai, like Bhindi Bazaar,
Okay.
which is behind the bazaar actually,
Correct.
and Bhuleshwar, and staying and growing up over there, he knows the nukkad of Mumbai.
Okay.
So on this set, what was that one food which you have ever shared with him, or any conversation you remember with him?
So actually एक बार मैंने उसको मिठाई खिलाया था.
अच्छा.
I don't know if he actually had it on the set, but I think he ate it later. He said it was good. Otherwise, we didn't really share too much food like that. Again, I'm quite a non-veg person, and I think he's veg.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, another perfectionist in his own way. So I think yes, what we definitely shared was, I had some chana from his bowl. So he has this bowl that's always with him. His assistant is always giving him this peanuts and chana and stuff. And I love that because that's finger food for me. So I had a few from there because his assistant offered me some. So that was cool.
Yeah. And talking about him, आपको कुछ ऐसे स्पेशल गिफ्ट मिला है जैसे उस्ताद जी को मिला था, like 500 रुपीस, ऐसा आपको कुछ मिला है?
नहीं, मेरे
या
को
कुछ कॉम्प्लीमेंट या कुछ
कोई compliment नहीं मिला.
Really?
नहीं. He would always say things, different things to me.
Like what?
So one day he came and he said, "You look fat." So I was like, "Okay, thanks." But I take that with a pinch of salt. I think if you get critical, and you get that criticism, it's good to take it with a pinch of salt, because he's seeing it from a director's point of view, and I put on a bit more because I was doing a role in the south, and in between I kept coming back to Mumbai. So I took that and I was like, all right, I need to run tomorrow and come back. But no, I didn't get any gift as such. I think the gift was, he took me for this role, and that's amazing, and I'm grateful for that.
And in recent times, which projects have you worked on, Jason, which has, proved the worth for you?
I don't think it's proved the worth in that sense. Recently, I did do a South film that had a decent graph for me. Again, very villainous. I was showcased quite nicely during the film. That was 1947. It was a Tamil film, working with Gautam Karthik, which was very nice. It was an A.R. Murgados film as well, so that was nice. But I love all my work. I love everything that I do. I was just with A.L. Vijay. I did Mission Chapter 1. I did something very special, which was cool for me because I've never done it before. Was horror movie. So I was in Conjuring Kannappan with a whole bunch of comedian actors. So that was different because I'm like this ghost dude, kind of looks like Halloween, but then I keep coming back to normal reality. So that was interesting because I was doing prosthetic work for 7 hours a day, and I've never done that before. So that was something very interesting. And I love doing things that are different. Obviously, yes, there is this little thing of being the foreigner in the film, but there's so much, difference in what I've done, I feel.
But do you also feel that now, since you're doing all this, villainous characters, somewhere there are chances of you being offered more of negative roles than a heroic roles, and would you prefer a full-fledged movie on it?
100%. I'm open for anything, but again, I'm thankful for being the antagonist. I have no problem being that. I played so many. It's fun. I enjoy being the authoritative person in the room. I hold all the authority most of the time, and it's fun. It's great. I said it to someone the other day. I said it actually shows the one of the height climax points of the hero, or the cast who works with me, because there's a certain fear that that they have to obviously portray. So it's interesting to see characters in that portion when I'm there. So let's see. I'm ready to play many more villains. I'm happy being the bad guy and I love it because people, when they meet me, they're like, "You're so nice." I'm not खुद की तारीफ नहीं कर रहा, but ऐसे तो लोग मैंने बहुत बार बोला कि I thought you would be such a hard guy, you wouldn't talk to anybody. So it's interesting to get the reactions.
What's next for you, Jason?
So there's a Dharma. I've just worked with Dharma on something. I've just worked on another film called The Black Umbrella. So that's going to be very interesting. That's a very different story. So there's always...
You've got me excited with Dharma projects. You have to tell me something
I can't
about
say
it.
too much, but I can't say too much. But I think the title of the film is already out. It's with Alia and Vedang Raina, which is
it's
Jigra.
Jigra. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So let's see.
So how was it like working with Alia? Because she's also worked
I'm
with...
actually not working with Alia directly, but I heard she's a great person to work with.
You have not come across her at all?
No. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe in the future.
There were a lot of reports about you, being a part of Big Boss. So what exactly is happening? Like you have said no to it, if I'm not wrong.
I don't think we've really said no. I think it came more from their side. I think we asked, for a specific amount. I'm not too keen about doing it anyway. I think going to OTT would be, especially after this, I think I need to make some good choices. But I'm happy waiting. I'm very patient. So I think there's a few things that are in the works already. So let's see.
And talking about your personal life, as we had a long discussion about love and marriages and relationships, of late there were a lot of reports about your breakup with Anusha Dandekar, and people were talking a lot about it. What do you have to say about it?
I actually don't want to say too much about it. I think it's something in the past now. It needs to be left there. I think she's moved on with her life. I've moved on with mine. And as long as, I think every stage of our life, there's a point where we learn. And I've definitely learned. I hope that she has too. And
But being an actor, do you also prefer that, someone should be from your industry because it becomes easier to even understand the kind of profession you have chosen?
Oof, I don't know. I think it gets tougher in some ways when the person is the same, because then, having free time becomes really tough when both sides are continuously working. I think I'm not a very jealous person in that sense, but I think the other side can easily become. And because it's that kind of industry, I think that, again, I don't know. It's not that I'm saying no, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future.
But if you ever had any crushes in Bollywood, any actress which you really personally liked?
So I actually really, when I saw Sonakshi for the first time in Dabang, I thought she was gorgeous. Ever since then, I think she's had this shine about her. I just recently met her boyfriend, and I'm so happy for them both. They're great people. But I was a little bit nervous. I even told her, when she came, I was like, it's that one person that you've always been thinking about, that ek din mein iske saath kaam karoge. And it happened.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And I don't think crushes, but my favorite actress has always been, I'm a big Priyanka fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You also said recently that people didn't understand you, but now going by your work, do you feel that you're getting the right characters, right roles in the industry?
I think yes, now it's going to move into a position of the creative side for me, and not, okay, this is a role, let's find a white guy for this. So I hope that now it's going to start to change and people will creatively start doing. I've already been, as I said, like a few talks which are very interesting, and characters that I think would be amazing to play. But yeah,
It was
thank
lovely
you.
chatting with you,
Thank you.
Jason, and it was lovely interacting with you to know
Yes.
other side of you.
Hi, my name is Jason Shah. You're watching me exclusively on Street Diaries with Samina on Zoom.